Good morning and welcome back to my channel. My name is Delias Paris and my channel is Indian Hen Farm. I've been AWOL for I think almost 2 weeks. And my daughter got out of school and she had graduation and all these events leading up to it, and it got out of hand. And so I apologize for not really notifying y'all. Sometimes you're running so fast you didn't even know you started a race. But I also had been going through a little bit of like, I don't know what to do next. And I don't know if y'all do that too, but I felt like I just needed to be inspired. And I was. I'm super excited about this next journal I'm going to work on. So I was going, everybody knows I love my Goodwill outlet. I can get, I mean, you're paying pennies for things. And I found this book called The Evening Garden, Flowers and Fragrance from Dusk Till Dawn by Peter Lower. And I've gone crazy. Let me show you some of these pictures. They're amazing. I've been wanting to do a little bit of an edgy garden book, like a night garden book. Look at these pictures. Let's see if I can find some. Yeah, these are all garden pictures at night. So the whole book is about the evening, well, clearly the title, Evening Garden. And this book inspired me. And I went, okay, I'm ready to do my evening garden book. So, here's some. So they're gorgeous. And I went a little crazy. So this book is really big and I'm going to do something with it, but I really kind of love this sort of, well, this one's kind of small. I love when you can take, your regular notebook paper, fold it in half, and that's pretty much good to go. Because I think, especially for beginners. Anyway, let's just keep going. So my next book is going to be inspired by this evening garden book with sort of dark, a little edgy, a little elegant. And this is my cover. I just think it's so friggin' gorgeous. I love it. So it's all fabric and we have a hidden spine, so you can't see the spine, and then fabric, and then inside. And, I kept thinking maybe I should do some where we sew it in, but I gotta tell you, this elastic binding is my favorite. It really is, because sometimes you get going in a journal and you're going, and all of a sudden it's just getting, like that, where you can't even close it. And, I know a lot of people just tie them up, but that's not really my thing. I don't love the look. I don't mind if it has a little tie here, but I don't like it when it's like this and I'm trying to, it feels like Harry Potter, right? Trying to close the book. So one of the things I love about the elastic binding is, one, I can take my pages out, and two, if it gets too chunky, I can reorder them and then take a few out, because sometimes these signatures are really fat, but this one's really skinny. So I like it best. So this is what we're going to do today. We're going to do this fabric cover. I'm going to show you how to do a fabric cover. I'm hoping I can get this all done one tutorial. And I've got, oh my God, I've been hitting pay dirt at the Goodwill outlet lately. I got this book, which, God, it's gorgeous. It was a vintage garden, the Guide to Garden and Shrubs. But God, look at that picture. So on this one, I don't want to cover that up. So I'm just going to do an edgy binding here. And so, okay, so let's just go ahead and get started. Let me get my coffee. It's early. My daughter just left for cooking camp. And I know I have to get a lot done today. So we're not going to mess around. Okay, so at my library, they always have this big box of books that they're basically throwing away. They're free. I gotta tell you, I've seen the same books in there. And then eventually they get handed off to Goodwill, I'm sure. But like I know most of these books end up being, thrown out, put in the dump. So I'm going to use this one. It's kind of a skinny little book, but I think it'll be good. I hate this cover. It's so black. It's so dull. So let's get yourself a book, and you know the width of your spine will determine sort of how many signatures and how much stuff you can get in there, right? And we've done this before, so this is going to be easy peasy. We're just going to be careful not to tear out that. Oh, I didn't, did I? No. It wouldn't have been funny if I'd done it on camera. We don't want to tear through. We just want to get this book stuff out. So, in fact, see? You can see through that hole. So, sometimes it's easier if you kind of go through that way. But, and sometimes I use scissors for this. Sometimes I need to pop up a new blade. Okay. In fact, I am going to go through. You know, I've been thinking a lot about my channel here because I haven't really grown too much. But I was watching, who was I watching? I was watching someone the other day. I can't remember who it was, darn. It wasn't somebody I'd ever seen before. It's, you know, was just randomly came up on my YouTube. And she said, guys, I don't do this to make money. And I don't either because I'm, yeah. But she said, I just do it because I really enjoy sharing this with you. And I thought about that because that's kind of how I feel too. And I've been getting in my head and a little like stressed, like, am I doing what they want? Should I come up with something better? And I thought, Delias, you're taking the fun out of this. Like, you do what you think is really cool and interesting to you and share it with people because that's was your intention when you started this channel, not to get into the how many likes, how many hearts, how many, you know, comments do I have. So I'm walking away from that. I'm giving myself, I'm just tearing off this yucky paper. I'm going to give myself the freedom to stop wondering, you know, sort of how to get more subscribers, how to do this, because that's just not my thing. First of all, I was never into the whole sort of, I don't know, I guess in high school you'd call it popularity contest, but I'm more into just enjoying what I'm doing and sharing that with y'all. So, I know I don't do a lot of fancy editing, and I probably talk too much. So I'm just getting all this sort of paper off because, there we go. We're going to cover all this up. It's ugly. Now, I'm going to tell you, I have learned how to do this from many artists. So there's been you know, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I just let it go to the next video. So that's kind of how I learned it. I don't know that anybody at this point, I don't know who the first person is to do this sort of look. I did also watch Treasure Books recently, and she did some of this. She does some dangles and stuff. I love her channel. I watch her a lot. I think she's really so good. And I picked out some fabric. Oh my God. I got a whole bunch of fabrics recently. I'm super excited. I actually went to the cotton company because as much fabric as I find from Goodwill Outlet, I really wanted something special. Okay, here we go. So I've got my book gutted. And I'm going to tear this out too. I love to save this stuff, this book cloth, and I use it in my clusters. Because look at that. Look at how ugly and old, not ugly, but like so vintagey, right? Even when this is not a vintage book. But I think it looks really good in clusters. So I'm going to take that out and save it. Or collages. And let's see. Let's just make sure we're nice and clean here. As clean as we can get. Okay. Is that good? I think that's pretty good on that side. Okay, now I want to clean up this side. We've had so much rain My poor basil is suffering. It's like, stop with the rain, dude. I love rain, but I think we had 4.5 inches more this month than last year, which is starting to wreak havoc on my, so not all my plants. My cucumbers are super happy, but okay. So the first thing I'm going to do, well, yeah, I'm going to do it because we're on camera and I want to show you guys this. I'm going to reinforce this spine. And I get, where did I put it? I've got this sort of stuff. It's like cardboard cardstock. If I have cereal box, I use that, but we don't eat a lot of packaged like pre-made foods. So I'm out of cereal boxes. Because mostly we make our own granola. I know, we're nerds. Okay, anyway. So I'm going to cut a piece of this off and just reinforce this spine. Okay. So I want it pretty close to the original. Uh-oh, do I have a pencil? Do I have a pencil? Let's see. Oh, here we go. Pencils in this house go missing quite frequently because my daughter draws. She draws way better than I did when I was a kid. That's for sure. So I've marked this cardstock, and it, like I said, you can use cereal box. And I'm not the best at cutting straight, I gotta tell you. So I've got this, which I kind of love because it just helps me kind of, so I line up my mark with a line on my mat. This is just how I do it. I know others don't need to do this. And then I just make sure it's straight with my square. And it is. And now I'm going to flip it over. This is just my little hack for how it works best for me. Okay. And I've got my straight edge here. Okay. I'm going to make sure my finger's out of the way. And lots of shallow cuts. If you go really deep, if you try and dig in there in the beginning, you're just going to dull your blade quickly. Just, if you do lots of shallow cuts, your knife will do the work for you. And it'll last longer. Okay, there we go. Okay. And let's check our book. Ah, here it is. I've got a whole bunch of books sitting on my... Okay, so... And I usually get it in here and then just close it, make sure... Yeah, that's good. Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't go too wide. And now, the way I do it, I like to go sort of this page to this page, sort of that amount for length, because I think it looks nicer. So I'm going to kind of come up here and go to there. Okay. But obviously, that's, you know, an aesthetic choice, right? Well, mostly. Like, you can go all the way up if you wanted. Okay. So, and I'm going to cover this again anyway. So, yeah. Doesn't even matter. Okay, so that's my reinforcement. And I'm going to glue that in. Let's see if we can use my art glitter glue. Okay. Okay. I love the art glitter glue because it dries fast. I did pull my barely art glue out again. I was doing something and I was like, okay, I need a glue like this, but that doesn't dry as fast. I'd become a connoisseur of glue. I know. Things that make me sound a little crazy, but you know, it is what it is. Okay. Now, if you wanted, you could obviously decorate this if you wanted this to show. In my book, it's not going to, so I'm just going to get it in here. Okay. And let's get my pen back in my glue. Okay. I want you down. Now, if y'all weren't here, I would take this and put it under a stack of books for 15 minutes. We don't have the luxury of that time since I'm on video, and so we're just gonna do our best here. Okay. Okay, and now let's cover the front. So let's see, what fabric did I pick out again? I picked out this, oh my God, love it, this green. I just think that's, I know it's a lot, but I really like it. Okay. So I'm going to tear some of this off, and I want, let's see. I want about 1 inch or 3/4 of an inch maybe all the way around. I don't want too much. I don't want too little. So let's see what we got here. Okay. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, yeah, is cut. Where's my fabric scissors? Here they are. I think right there. Okay. Okay. Just get that out of the way. Okay. And let's see. So you know what we're gonna do? Let's just get the front in. Okay, now I'm gonna use my Fabri-Tac glue. This is the glue I like to use, and this this fabric is pretty busy. I'm gonna smooth it out because I don't want the glue to seep through, but I have, so when I cut my book board, sometimes I have some extra pieces and I'll do projects with them, but I also, I love to take my scraps and I use them to spread out my glue. I know I can buy a silicone brush, but this works, and I have these little pieces everywhere from other things. The other thing is, yeah, my regular brushes, it ruins them. So I need to get a silicone brush at some point, but this has been my solution so far. Let me grab a piece of wax paper. Oh. Okay. Get this underneath. Just try not to get glue everywhere. Okay. And I'm going to start with the spine. Okay. Come on, glue. Okay. And I'm going to get in those crevices. And then I use my cardboard little piece. And I spread it out. Okay, let's see. That looks good. And now I'm going to take my okay. I really love this fabric. It's a little loud, but I like a busy fabric on a junk journal because I don't know. Like I bought this one that I think is so pretty, and it's busy, but it's so tame that I keep skipping it. I like a little vibrancy. Okay. So that looks really good. Let's just make sure. Guys, this is so easy. I see people all the time on the Facebook pages talking about where to get a junk journal. They junk journal, but I guess this part of the process is really intimidating to people. And they'll be like, oh, where can I buy one? But I don't have a lot of money. And I just want to be like, go, just make one. Grab a free library book and go through your old books. You know, everyone's got those books that they don't read anymore that are, or someone gave to them. And okay, got some cardboard. It's really, it's more intimidating than hard, guys. And if you get 4 or 5 of those free library books, you know, the ones that nobody wants to read, the outdated decorating book or whatever. Like, come on, guys. Just grab some to practice on. Just do it. I'm bossy, aren't I? Okay. And let's flip it and do the other side. I don't know why I need to flip it. I just feel the need to flip it. So, oh, we need a little more glue in there. Ooh. Okay. Let me just make sure that's in real quick, guys. Okay. Let's get that in. It's really, okay. I feel like it's so much more rewarding when you get to pick out your when I started as a jeweler, I started by, you know, probably most people doing like beads. And then as I got further and further into that, I was like, I'm looking for something like this, and I couldn't find it. So I was like, well, now I want to make my own other pieces. So then I started taking metalsmithing classes. And I think this is the same way. It just evolves and evolves and evolves. Okay, here we go. Okay. So that's nice and done. Let's do the inside. Okay. So I did not pick out my papers, which I wish I had, but we won't go too crazy over selecting today. We're just gonna, someone gave some advice here in my comments. They said, just go from start to finish. And I think she's right. Okay, let's not overthink it, right? Okay, so now we have this ugliness going on, right? Okay, hold on one sec. Let's put, no, okay. So we're going to be putting this down, and just like all the other tutorials, we're going to cut some triangles here. Let me try and get my arm out of the way. Sorry. Okay, I start by just cutting my triangles, and then I'll kind of look at them and see. Okay, see how it's looking. I know my arm is right in the way. I'm sorry, guys. Here, maybe. It's because I'm right-handed. Yeah, I know. That's not working, is it? Here, let's try it this way. That way, y'all. Okay, that one's going to be way too big. I know it. Okay, so I'm going to go down a little more. This is the part that I think is probably, that I think is probably the hardest. Some people have little rules, like, the thickness of your cardboard. Like, put this in the way. I find that's not enough for me. So what I do is I'll cut it and then I'll fold it over a little and look. Let me see if I can pull that up so you guys can see. I've got just enough to cover that corner. Here. Can you see that? And so I just want a hair there, but I do want to cover the corner. I don't want to leave, I don't want to get that split. Okay. Yep, that looks good. That actually, that's a tiny too much. Take a tiny bit off. Okay. And yeah, okay. So I'm going to glue lengthwise first. So I'm going to get this over and this one up. Okay, that's how I'm doing it. Let's get it. Okay. Got my glue. Okay. Oh. And I also want to get some glue. I want to make sure I've got some here on this edge. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to pull up. I need more glue on that side. Just make sure I'm pulled up. Yep. Okay. So it's all nice and pulled up. Let's do the other side. Just make sure I get, it looked like I needed some more glue, didn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm going to cover mine with paper panels on the inside. So, okay. Okay. There we go. I think we're good. Oh, okay. Let's see. Whoop. Okay. Let me pull that one down. There we go. Getting some glue on my hand. Sorry, guys. Okay. Sure. Oh my God. Isn't that gorgeous? Doesn't it look really good? It's nice and even. Okay, so now we're going to do these other panels. So my little tip would be when you're pulling that fabric over, sometimes you have, to have an example. Sometimes you have like, okay, so this has this paper in here. and then it has this little bit of fabric. And sometimes you pull so hard that you kind of fold, you're pulling that down. So just be delicate there because you want to mirror the fold of that book already if you want to look really clean, okay? Okay, let's do these last pieces. Okay, I'm going to get my glue down. Ah. Okay. Ah. And I'm just going to make sure this is folded in. So I'm going to fold that in a little bit. As best I can. You know what you're looking for. You want to look really nice and neat and clean. There we go. That looks really good. Oh. Okay. Okay. Yeah. The corners look really good. Okay. So we're just kind of, dropping everything. No, we're just kind of like tucking that little piece in. And honestly, I think I got that tip from Treasure Books. And it was a game changer for me. So, okay. Let's get this one out. Okay. Oh, that must be the garbage and recycling. Sorry, guys. Okay. I think I need a little more. Okay. Just gonna tuck that in a little bit. Oh. Okay. There we go. There we go. So if you have too much fabric, sometimes that's when you have more problems. I know that's weird, like, but you know, when you have too much fabric is when it kind of bunches and creates an ugly fold there. Okay. Got a little lump there. There we go. Okay. Looks pretty good, huh? Okay, guys? Okay. So now, let's get the inside done. Let's just do it. We're 30. Oh, we're doing pretty good, actually. We're not doing as bad as I usually do. Okay. So now I want a fabric, and I bought this on a whim, and I can't stop using it. It's such a good neutral. It goes with everything. So I'm going to use this for the inside. Okay, so let's see. This one's already cut. Let's cut a piece off here. I think... Okay, I'm not going to go looking. I think I have some extra, but... So I'm going to cover this section. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Yeah, right, like that. And I'm going to then cover that with cardboard or with my, sorry, scrapbook paper. So we don't have to be as perfect here. But I do want this top edge and this bottom edge to look good. And what I found I like is when, even with the tail, it goes kind of straight up. I don't want it poking out the top because I've got this fabric here, this edge. I don't want it to be like a big clump of, anyway, that's how I like it. So I'm going to cut this one. Ah, shoot. Okay, let me cut it a little more. Ah, there we go. Okay. Okay, down there. Okay. That is really wonky. It might be okay. Let's see. Okay. I'm just going to straighten that up a little bit. It tore pretty wonky. It's funny how sometimes you get such a great tear and sometimes you don't. Okay. But now it's really short and I don't like that. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm going to do it again. Whew. Okay. Let's do it again. Okay. Okay. Maybe put more effort into cutting it straight. Okay. I think that'll work. Okay. That looks better to me. Okay. So, yeah. That looks good. And I'm going to use my awl. You know, I've been on this weird awl thing lately. I bought like 3 different ones, looking for the perfect awl. And where did I put it? I did find one that I like above all others. This one's by Lineco. I'll link it. And this seems to be my favorite. I think I bought 3 different ones. And this one makes me the happiest. Okay. So I bought this one. I have a few others. This one says it's heavy duty. I don't know. This one seems to be better to me. Okay. I'm just getting some of these threads off because I like the look. There we go. Oh. Okay. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, let's see. Okay. So I'm going to glue this in the middle and then come out, and I'm going to get into these grooves. Get some glue. Okay. Let's give it some spread. Okay. Oh. Okay. 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 And this one. Okay. I'm just making sure it's down, guys. Yeah. Okay. Let's give a little more glue on these edges. You know, I'm going to put it on the cardboard and spread it. Maybe I'm not. Ooh, that was a lot. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay. And I'm not worried about these edges because I'm going to put scrapbook paper. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Okay, we got this. I really do like to kind of have cover day or week where you just do a whole bunch because, and I'm not doing all the decorating. I'm just doing some basic of cleanup and everything. And the reason why is because for me, it's the place where I procrastinate. And if it's like knitting, okay, I don't know if any of y'all are knitters, but they say if you knit socks, immediately, as soon as you cast off on the first sock, start the next one. Because if you don't, you will never do it. Now, that's not true for everybody, but it's true for some of us. So, look, here we go. We're looking pretty good, right? Okay. And here's our inside, and we want some paper. Let me grab a piece of scrapbook paper. I'll grab the pad, and we'll just pick one real quick. Here. Let's see. What do I have? What do I have? You know what? Yeah. Okay. I was like, let's just grab the first one that's in there, but here. Okay. Let's get this out of the way. Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. So, depending on how you want yours to look, I like to leave a little edge all the way around. Oh, I'm going to flip this so I can see my pencil mark. I do that all the time. I put it on a busy pattern and then I can't find, I'm like, where is my pencil mark? Okay, here we are. Yeah, I'm liking that. Okay. And I think, is that right? Okay, let's try that. Ow, big paper cutter. Big paper cutter. Okay, on. Let's make sure we're nice and straight. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Okay. So I'm going to mark, I'm just going to mark this one on this one and do the same exact thing on the back pocket. Obviously, you can go as, you know, be as ambitious as you want. You could do a collage pocket. You could do a fabric. I'm doing the paper. I like texture a lot, and I like using different textures. So I kind of like paper and cloth, or, you know, just a mix. It's kind of nice to me. Okay, see how long we want this. Ah, doing it again. Okay. I think. Ah. And this time, I'm just going to line these up and cut it once. Okay. Here we go. It's not my favorite paper. I probably could have picked something better, but you know what? I'm probably going to add something to this, so I'm not going to stress about it. Okay. I'm just grabbing my ink, and let me see real quick. I think, here's my other one. Yeah, I'm just going to cover this, and then I'll probably do like some sort of big pocket so only a little of this is showing. But I am going to ink it, and I am, sorry, going to corner punch those corners just because I like the way it looks better. I really like rounded corners. I've done several journals without rounded corners and several with, and I'm just finding overall I prefer rounded. Okay. Okay. Let's get this done real quick. Okay, so it looks like I know those who watch my channel, well, they know that I live on a 11-acre farm outside of Asheville with really bad internet. So I may do this portion and then stop the video and start a second video doing the elastic just because I don't want a 2-hour video to upload. It takes hours, I mean, like days, literally days, unless I go into town. Okay, there's that one. And you guys probably know what you're doing next, right? Okay, there we go. You probably know what you're doing next. Okay, let's get these glued down, these panels. Let's be smart. Let's try and be smart here. Not get glue everywhere. Okay. Okay. Oh. And I'm still using my Fabri-Tac because I'm still going to have some of this on fabric. And it's just the glue that I found I like. I mean, I know art glitter glue will... Let's see. Oh, get that out of the way. And get this one in. And I'm going to stand up because it's so much easier. I think right there. Oh, no. Right there. Because I think that Fabri-Tac gives me a little time to manipulate if it's not straight. And art glitter glue, once it grabs, man, sometimes you're done, right? In fact, this one, see? Yeah. And I'll reinforce this with a little more glue. Now it's positioned and it's grabbed mostly. The edges probably need a little more. Come on. But I like to use just enough to kind of get it positioned because I almost always have to reposition my paper. Apparently, straight is not my forte. Okay. So let me get this in. Maybe that should be the name of my journals. Crooked journals. Okay, that was bad. That's pretty dumb. Okay, let's see. Got this one up. Let's get this on here. Does look about the same to me. Yeah, close enough. This one is so much easier because you have this one to sort of eyeball. Okay. So I think we're going to stop there. And in fact, I think I'm going to get this under. Well, hold on. Yeah. I'm going to reinforce this. I'll do that off screen. Y'all don't need to watch that. I'm going to reinforce it. And I'm going to get it under some books. And just make sure these panels are really down. And then we'll start on this next part. But look at how quick. Okay, guys. This whole video is 51 minutes so far. And we've done everything except for put in the cord. That's what I mean. It's not time. I mean, and this is with me teaching you guys. So you guys could probably do this in 30 minutes. Okay. Okay. So give me a few minutes. I'll link the second video to this one and we'll just do a little video train. Okay, guys. Thank you.